Another place again. This I don't know if you can see some cows out there behind me. Just want to be in nature, escaping from the crowd and noise from people. It is good when you have time to be alone. This is what I want to talk about. That in fact we are in a second Holocaust without realizing. Modern people, including millennial, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and also Gen Beta, we have been indoctrinated a lot from social media. Parents, they don't have much time to control kids' screen time usage. When people spend enormous time on social media without examining it or trying to think about it themselves, because usually it is good that a lot of people from social media, they believe the same thing as you, so it is amplified every single day by the content that you consume. Usually people wouldn't consume sort of content that they don't like. For example, if you are a Christian, you wouldn't want to consume, typically, okay, you wouldn't want to consume like supporting LGBTQ community or some sort of atheist. You might like want to know why an atheist is an atheist, right? But you don't want to spend like the whole day, every single day, watching atheist contents. Of course not. You're gonna watch something that relates to Christianity. That is normal, right? That is why people, when they don't try to seek new information from the opposing side or just spend time alone without their phone, it is like they're losing themselves. Literally, people who possess mutual ideology, they tend to have a lot of similarities and they just don't examine whether it is already the right thing to believe or not, or just think about it like truly whether that is a flaw in it or not, or is it actually aligning with your value, or you just want to be a part of something. It has negatively affected people's lives significantly more than people thought. And in fact, most people, including you, I believe that we all are aware that excessive usage of social media is almost inherently bad, right? Because you would be addicted to social media and you wouldn't get up and do something for yourself. You just want to lie on a couch and scroll for the whole day, watching some people, you know, speaking some bullshit, gossiping about others, or trying to give you some 10 tips that you can look better or you can improve your life. And then when people consume it, they would feel like they are doing something productive, but actually they didn't do anything. Because it is almost like a coping mechanism that you can avoid doing the work by just watching people doing the work, if that makes sense. And then it is good that when now you know it, but most people they don't actually apply it. It is like they can brag about it that like, oh, today, I know a lot about psychology techniques, how to manipulate people and stuff, how the mind works, etc. And then they don't actually apply anything at all to their life to improve themselves. It is actually worse than not being on social media at all. I myself, like, I've been off of it for months and it is actually good. I have a lot of time with myself. I don't talk to anyone. I don't care about anything. In fact, when you're on social media, literally, right? Even though I said that I'm off of it, but there would be sometimes that I gotta post some stuff on social media, right? And then I would see some content. I swear to you, it is so draining. People would yap about something like I don't just nonsense, and it is just like one person's opinion, and it is reinforced by many people, and then when it gets a bunch of likes and comments, a lot of traction, right? And you kind of feel like, damn, this is what most people agree with this, and you kind of feel like I have to agree with this too. And if you don't do or be part of the popular opinion, you kind of feel excluded, and that is where it happens. It reshapes your identity unconsciously. Just you don't want to feel like I don't want to be the 1% of people where nobody accepts me, and I'm gonna try to do whatever that society doesn't frown upon, whatever that they would see me as a person, even if it means that I have to sabotage my identity. I don't care. But I mean, you guys are not gonna say it like this, right? But this is what actually happens inside you when you're on it a lot. And you would think that a lot of the media, it is true. Of course, like it is all like maybe like a lot of them are true, but don't forget that it is just like a tiny fraction of reality. There's still a bunch of people out there who have different opinions, and it is not broadcasted. You get what I mean? So you kind of manipulated a lot by social media. I said it a lot, this word, but it is true. Like, notice it. Like, try to be off of social media for a day. I know that you can do it. At least just chat with your friends. That's it, and just don't scroll at all. You would see how different your life would be. And the next day, if you go back to scroll, you would see that, damn, your emotions and your thoughts are influenced a lot by social media. When you try this experiment, it is almost impossible, right, to quit social media. I have tried like on and off so many times since I was in high school. Since I was like 16, 17, I remember it was almost impossible, but I could do it like a week or two, and then I just gradually came back to it, and then once it just happened that I just fully came back to it. Modern people have been losing their souls. They're trying too much to please the majority of people without realizing how much of them have lost. It is really a tragedy. Think about it. Back then, before social media becomes extremely popularized, like people still use it, but not as much as nowadays, where literally, if you go to a city, you could see like at least 40 to 50% they would be on their phones, right? It is normal now. Back then, like people would use it, but usually just like at home or when they sit somewhere comfortably in their free time. But now it is literally everywhere, every time. This is insane. Like literally, I predict, and I think you know it too, that in the future, people would marry with AI because they can't find a partner who is compatible with them anymore. Now, some of you might feel like, ew, like what the fuck is that? Nowhere, I would never do that. Trust me, man. It is the same way with like AI in the past, maybe like in a couple decades, people would laugh at it, like Ultron. If you have watched Avenger 2, you would see that like it is almost like nah, it's not gonna happening soon. At like I'm sure you'd be like that. Now like we might not accept like AI marriage, but in the future it would become normalized. Same way with like social media and AI nowadays. it's not gonna be different. Because everything is a trade-off. Everything has an advantage and disadvantage. Regardless of how much we try to oppose it, we still can't eliminate it if we're not a person in power. What we can do is only adapt to it. That is why modern people, they are forced to be the best at everything. Coding, you need to be able to drive, you need to be able to cook, you need to know how to use AI, you need to be well spoken, you need to know how to use all of these freaking apps and websites, otherwise they're not gonna hire you. And you also have to have a lot of experiences. Literally, like, bro, it is almost impossible nowadays to start a new life. New graduates can't even find a job anymore, even if they are skilled and got 0.0 GPA. It is really hard nowadays to do something. It really is the freaking social media. You know, we really can't do anything besides trying to leverage from it. That is why, like, nowadays I'm kind of excited to do something new all the time. It is an opportunity to learn something, even if I don't have to pursue this path in my future, but at least if I can do it, maybe it would be beneficial for me in the future. Numerous millennial individuals in my country, literally they can't adapt to technological advancement in my country, so they can only live in like countrysides, or even like in the capital. People cannot try to climb a career ladder and get promoted because to them they only have the knowledge from previous generation, whatever that their parents told them to do. And a lot of them, they have been stagnant for decades. Back then people would believe that, like, oh, if you got a degree, then that's it, that is the end of your learning journey, and then you get a job, and then that's it, you don't have to learn anything anymore. Nowadays it is different. If you really want to survive in this game, you need to adapt over and over again. In every decade you must cultivate new skills that align with society demand in order to survive in a long term. That is the only way. You cannot think that, like, oh, if I got a PhD and then that's it, now I'm like a genius and I'm just gonna stay in my professional career forever. I don't think that would be the case. I swear to you, after this like a decade or two, a lot of jobs will be replaced by AI or might be permanently erased, you know? So you just can't rely on, you know, your degree or your current knowledge anymore. Even if you're a genius, you need to constantly learn something new all the time. Many things become harder to access. Everything is overpriced. A plane ticket, fuel, and renting, literally everything. It is almost impossible to live in this generation without connection. If you are alone on your own, just you on the boat, damn man, like, that's why I tell you that you need to be skillful and master at every single thing. The absurdity of modern expectation is really ridiculous. What do they expect you to become, including me? Like, it is almost as if they want me to become many things simultaneously, like a president, a CEO, a content creator, a software developer, an astronaut. Do we have to become all of these in order to survive in the future? Oh my gosh, like, when you think about it, it is really absurd. The bloodshed has already happened, and we're gonna see who's gonna survive with this cruel, absurd world. The people who are likely to survive, they must possess adaptive ability. Otherwise, if they remain stagnant and rigid, then it is going to be a difficult challenge for them to survive in this cruel world. The online Holocaust has already happened, and it's going to get worse and worse. Let's see how it goes. It is already absurd nowadays. The only thing that we can do is just trying our best to live our life without letting social media affect us negatively. I feel extremely appreciative for all of the support, even if you just watch it until here. It means the world to me. And if you have any opinion or suggestion, you can comment down below. I would read every single thing. And that's it. Thanks a lot, and see you the next one.